goals. The home of classic games, classic content, F1, whatever we're going to do in the future. Basketball, NFL, tiddlywinks, even conkers. You'll find everything on this channel. This morning we're talking everything about Tottenham, new COVID cases. Should the Brentford game go ahead tonight? Should the Leicester game go ahead Thursday? And the Sky put pressure on clubs to play games. Is it all to do with that? With me, next to me, the man who joined us over the weekend, who knew nothing about Formula One, who really didn't care about Formula One, but he does rock a good flat cap and he knows everything about Tottenham Hotspur. It's my mate, your mate, my co-host, Hoover. How are you this morning, Hoover?
Oh, I'm doing really well now that driving around the car park business is over from yesterday. Looking forward to talking about football again, but where's the bloody football?
That's it. And below us, also joining us, it's a man who should go into I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here, because he probably would win it. He would give Ant and Dec all the coffee that they needed for a lifetime. It really is our friend of the show, our friend of the channel, Ben Kaufman from his coffee shop this morning. How are you, Ben?
Doing good. I've been very chill this morning. Looking forward to talking Tottenham. Not that we're playing at the moment, and having a bit of a laugh at the same time. So get your newspaper out, get your coffee, and let's have a chat.
Well, less of the newspaper, more of the coffee. And firstly, before we get into it, it's good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining us. So we'll hope you enjoy the show. And good morning to everyone that's watching us at the moment. Please get your comments in. We'll want you involved as much this morning, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on all the subjects that we're going to talk about over the next hour or so. Guys, let's start with you, Kuba. New COVID cases at Tottenham. Do you think the Premier League should call off the Leicester game now?
Yeah.
So it prepares fans, and say they're calling off the last minute. And what about the Liverpool game? Should that be called off as well?
Yeah, I said it the other day. I think we just need to have like at least a sort of 2-week circuit breaker for the league, because if you've got new cases popping up all the time, you're just spreading it to other clubs who are going to play them. People are going to be infected that are going to those matches. I mean, you can't test constantly, can you?
No.
So, we had the theory just before we came online that Brentford are the spreaders, didn't we? Because everybody that seems to have played them recently comes up with COVID cases. So,
poor old Brentford.
Yeah, well, that would certainly make an impact on the Premier League, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous, isn't it? We're going to a period with the most games getting played over the Christmas period, and the outbreaks are happening now, and we're looking to carry on with that fixture list. That's that tight schedule. It's madness. I think we just need to have a little bit of a break and let clubs get on top of their own situation first.
Well, I apparently what I'm hearing from my own source is that it's one more first team player has tested positive, and now there is now a widespread outbreak among the under 23s. I mean, Ben, apparently there was rumours Hotspur Way was going to be reopened today. We saw Harry Kane going in to the training ground yesterday. I mean, surely Tottenham should close everything down now until this is completely out of the club.
Yeah, they should. As much as we want to see players train, it'd be good for them, because all the lodges at Hotspur Way have their own training pitch, so you could still do some on-field training if you're self-isolated. But we just need to nip this in the bud. And the quicker we nip this in the bud, the quicker we can get them all back together again. And getting one person to go in one at a time, it's putting their lives at risk, and it's putting their teammates' lives at risk. So we just need to shut everything down and just see where it goes from there. Get everyone healthy again, and then Bob's your teapot.
Yeah. Apparently yesterday, Conte did have the team in double training yesterday. So it's amazing what 24 hours happens. Cooper, what do you do if you're Conte? I mean, if you're Conte, what do you do?
Well, there's not a lot you can do, is there? I mean, it's not in his hands to decide when the team's fit and healthy, and it's not in his hands to decide on regulations. So I think he's very frustrated by it all. That seemed to show the other day was when it came to the European fixtures, but it's putting an unnecessary strain on the team at the moment. And we're not the only club that's going through it, but I mean we've obviously had the most prominent case with the whole Ren game being called off. What would I do if I was Conte? I think he's doing all he can do. Just get on with the training until he's told otherwise. It's out of his hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, have you had any restrictions there in the last 24 hours in England?
Have they? Sorry?
Have they brought in new restrictions, your government, in the last 24 hours in England?
I mean, the only thing is everyone that can work from home is advised to work from home, but people are still working from home. I mean, my family's still going into their personal office. I'm still coming into my studio and whatnot, but I can't work from home as a coffee roaster. But I think if you can work from home, they advise you to work from home, but it does all seem to be all business go. But we need to bring back a bit of freedom, but people are advised to use their brain, keep calm, put your mask on. Any public places that require a mask, supermarkets, put a mask on. Just be safe.
Yeah, good morning, Carl Simpson. Welcome to the show. I hope you're all good too, sir. Let's get off the COVID subject because I think it's just getting to everyone. I mean, it's all around us, but we're here. News that's coming through this morning is Spurs could survive in the Conference League as UEFA's control body could change the rules to allow the match versus Rennes to be played after December 31st. Rennes can also be charged if they don't fix the new date and play the game. Where do you stand in all this with UEFA and the Conference League and Tottenham? And do you think where do you stand in? It's a bit confusing, isn't it? It's a bit standoffish, isn't it? A bit stick your nose up the Tottenham sort of thing.
It's tricky because obviously, well, personally, I feel UEFA would prefer to have Spurs in the competition than not because we're a big name, and they're going to want some big names in the latter stages of their competition, make it more sort of valid, if you like. Yeah. Rennes, of course, they just want they'll be happy to see us out of it. I mean, we're a competitor, so yeah. Are they making it deliberately awkward for us? Possibly. It's my personal feeling is they're put up because it's inconvenienced them, the same as we would be as well. I don't doubt for a second that we might act quite in a petty way as well, because there's a rivalry there, England against France sort of thing, isn't it? There's hundreds of years worth of competition between the two. But yeah, it's an awkward one. I think common sense has got to prevail at the end of the day. Yeah. It's got to be fulfilled safely and at a time when both clubs can do it. Yeah. And if UEFA are going to sway and put back the sort of final date it can be played, then I think that's probably the right move. Do it at a time where both clubs can actually fulfill it.
Yeah, very quickly before we get to your comment card, which I will give to you, Ben, to say all of us here at TTG would love to send our support and our best wishes to Bob Spur, who is still fighting in hospital at the moment with COVID. We are waiting on an update today from him. He's a huge part of the Spurs family, huge part of the YouTube family as well. And Tim and Arthur, us from all of it here, will send our best wishes. And again, this show is dedicated to Bob Spur for his recovery. So big up, Bob. Just very quickly, Kuva, anything to say?
No, just to reiterate what we're saying already, we're all waiting to hear positive news about Bob. Can't wait to see him back on the YouTube channels where he belongs. Part of the family here. He's sort of one of the senior figures of the family, really, isn't he? Because we all look up to Bob for a bit of comfort and a bit of his good blend of serious comments, and then just making it nice and laid back and a bit of fun with what he says as well. It rubs off on everybody, and he's a larger than life sort of figure.
They did. And Ben, very quickly, we do have to draw for the UEFA Champions League. We will keep you updated on that too. The first two teams have come out. So just very quickly, on Ben.
We're looking forward for you to tell us all to piss off again. So keep fighting a good fight. I hope Kim's well, and let's keep waiting for good news. I can only see him getting through this.
Yeah, and Chris then just said the thoughts are with you, Bob. Yeah, that's all of us. Right, let's get back to talking Spurs. I'm sure Bob will want us to do that. Carl Simpson says here, I heard that, and apparently Wrens are in big trouble, as it was them saying no to every date we've offered them, apparently. What do you say to Carl Simpson? Ben?
I mean, it stinks of Wren trying to put a spanner of the works, because at the end of the day, they don't want to see a team that's a possible threat in the latter stage of the competition. Mm-hmm. So the quicker they get us out, the better it is for them. But it shows it shows a lack of empathy, a lack of common sense, a lack of sense of competition, that they not playing a full team. They would rather play a skeleton team than play the full Tottenham team, which is. It's a disgrace on their part for their own team. I mean, surely you want to play the best teams and win the most games. You don't want to play minnows and win a competition. You want to play the big boys. So that's the reason you play in Europe. So I feel like Wren should be punished for this. If they're categorically refusing to play us every day, they're the ones that should be punished, because we've tried to give as much as possible and they're not doing anything to show some sort of respect for the club of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It's a disgrace on their part.
Kuva?
Yeah, what I haven't done, I've got to keep forgetting to look at Wren's fixture list, because maybe they've got a valid point if they've got a very congested fixture list. Because
but they're on the winter break though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If they have a winter break, are they going to feel aggrieved that they have to play during that break, or have they got matches piling up that gets in the way as well? I mean, it's looking that they've got a league game. No, they got a couple of games coming up, 18th and the 22nd. Could they have played on the 20th? Could we? I don't know. It's all I can think is we would have been just as awkward about things if it didn't suit us. But yeah. I think they're probably playing it up a little bit too much, don't you?
Yeah. I don't think that's about Villarreal right, but I do apologise. They were the first two games for the Champions League round of 16. Benfica versus Real Madrid, and then Villarreal are playing Manchester City. So they were the first two names out of the UEFA Champions League draw this morning. Another draw's just come out. Atletico Madrid are playing Bayern Munich. So we're going to keep, if Cooper can keep across to that for us, just let us know. I'll keep you across because I've got it down the bottom of Sky Sports News here. We'll touch on that later on, actually. There's been rumours this morning that Tottenham are after Cooper, the Norwich goalkeeper, Max Annis. Do you think that'd be a good buy for us?
One quick point just before we go on to that. Chris Agomba saying a lack of sportsmanship under the circumstances. I think we'd all agree with that, wouldn't we?
I do. I really do.
So perhaps UEFA does need to step in to just say, perhaps they even set the date, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. And Carl Simpson said they're already through. We can't catch them, so just play us and finish the group. No one is telling them what team to pick. That's a good point.
It's that's the sensible way of looking at it. But as we said before, we're a potential rival for them in the later stages. So, of course, they'd like to see us out.
Yeah. And FC Salzburg, I've got Liverpool in the round of 16 of the Champions League. So I will keep you up to date on that as that's breaking and coming through. But just to recap, Benfica versus Real Madrid, Villarreal versus Manchester City, Atletico Madrid versus Bayern Munich, FC Salzburg versus Liverpool. Very quickly on them, guys, what do you think of the two Premier League sides? Good draws or tough draws for them? If I'll go to you first.
I think as soon as you get to the knockout stages, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's all big games. We've seen teams, so-called lesser teams, turn over the bigger teams plenty of times before. So,
Inter Milan have got Ajax. That's the latest to come out of the pot. I mean, out of them games, which one are you looking forward to watch, Ben? Out of them, Benfica, Real Madrid, Villarreal, Man City, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, FC Salzburg, Liverpool, and Inter Milan, Ajax. Which of them would you be excited to watch on telly?
I'm going to speak very frankly and say I don't give a shit because Tottenham aren't in the competition, so I don't care.
Yeah, but it's not the idea. I want your opinion, Ben, on which games you'd like to watch. I mean, it is.
That was an opinion.
I know. I mean, Atletico Bayern Munich for me looks like a good game.
I do like watching Juventus to see the eventual meltdown of all my Italian friends. So I'm going to say the Juventus game just to give an opinion. But again, there's no Tottenham.
Are they in the Champions League, Juventus?
Yeah, they're in the Champions League. Finished top of the group.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't. All right.
They pipped Chelsea to the post. So got to give it to them.
Of course they did, yeah. I mean, that was a shock for poor Chelsea, wasn't it? Bless them.
Sod them.
So, Carl Simpson says here, did you see this morning Man United have a COVID outbreak this morning? Yeah,
Man United versus PSG. Let's go. Messi, Ronaldo.
What do you think to that? What do you say to Carl Simpson, Ben? Is this confirming your Brentford theory about them being the super spreader?
I think so. Every team that's played Brentford has got COVID cases. Yeah. So I think we're going to have to look at Brentford because if I remember rightly, last year when we played Brentford in the semi-final, they had COVID cases as well. Afterwards, the manager got COVID after the game, and that was a bit of a worry. It seems like Brentford do have a bit of a lackadaisical approach when it comes to COVID.
Yeah.
Or is it more sinister?
Maybe. Remove the competition by making them not play.
God, you two are very in the dark arts this morning.
They're picking off all the competition to get them thrown out of Europe so they can have a European place next season.
I swear you two are really Mercedes fans in the quiet. You know, you're like them, right? If they can have a trophy, nobody else can. Right.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Are you going to start doing the thing now? Doing that to me? No, it doesn't work for me. I'm the light side, mate. You go back to your Death Star.
Come on, Kova, let's have tea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, this has now turned into a Star Wars film.
Well, at least the Death Star was very British.
Yeah. No, it was Irish. It was built by McAlpine. That's who it was built by. Oh Lord. You swear McAlpines and Murphys had something to do with that construction of that. Where were we?
United's COVID outbreak. COVID outbreak.
Kuva, what do you think? No, seriously though. I mean, I would love to know what people's thoughts of this in the chat. I mean, did the Premier League have to take a bit of a big step here and say, look, we're going to have to go ahead with and lobby the government to get a circuit breaker in? Or do you just play all the Christmas games and then knock out all of January? What do you do?
I'll just take away all the games till January. Give it. I mean, if the government aren't going to do it, then I think the Premier League should look at this and just think, well, we've got to play some sort of part in this. This is just, it's madness putting this many people together from different parts of the country when there's a COVID outbreak amongst the teams. I mean, let alone the fans. Let's just have a little breather from it and let people get their own clubs sorted out first, and then we can come back together and sort of sensibly go ahead with the fixtures again. And then with a bit of luck, we can get rid of the stupid World Cup in the summer that shouldn't have happened in the first
next
place.
winter. Well, that's going to be another morning show this week. Actually, that's something I want to talk about this week. Is about the Qatar World Cup. I mean, if you aren't happy talking about it now, we can dig into it now.
Well, it all ties into the same COVID question for me, because I mean,
and it knocks our Christmas period completely out the park.
Yeah.
Next season. I mean, while you're having your thoughts on that, I just want to get the dates up for the when the Premier League will stop next season. So, what's your thoughts on that and the Qatar World Cup, and where it could land us into more trouble next season, like this season, like with the COVID?
Would you like to go first on that, Ben?
Well, it's an unacceptable situation. I mean, the World Cup to begin with should have been given to Great Britain and Ireland. It should have been a shared World Cup between our two countries, which we got a country that's built for football. Like, we don't need to build any stadiums. All we've got to do is employ the fans and do what we did in the 2012 Olympics in this country and share it with our brothers across the sea in Ireland. It'd be a brilliant event, but they've given it to a country that's not set up for football. They've had to build stadiums, resulting in 3,000 people dying, and it might not go ahead anyway because of COVID. So they wouldn't be able to play the competition anyway because it's 50 degrees there in some parts of the year. So it's a non-starter that the World Cup should be in Qatar. It's completely and utterly unsuitable for that sort of competition. So I'll take it away from them. If they, it's ridiculous. They shouldn't have had it to begin with.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Kuva. I want your thoughts on it. I would be interested to see what your thoughts are.
I'm agreeing with Ben 100%. I mean, that's an absolutely disgraceful figure. 3,000 people dying just building these bloody stadiums. It brings images of like ancient Egypt building the pyramids under slave labor. It's such a ridiculous thing in this day and age. It's a country that's not suited to having the football in the first place, is it? I mean, when they're having to build special stadiums that are with their own air conditioning system just to be able at a temperature we can play, that you've got to think there's something a little wrong there, isn't there? Yeah. As Ben said, give it to a country that's well set to cope with that many fans, and the stadiums are already in place. Even if it's something like the USA again, I mean, they did a good enough job with it, didn't they?
I mean, they got it in 28, don't they, or 2030?
Yeah,
well, yeah,
with Mexico and Canada.
Plenty of countries that can cope with it, isn't there? I mean, so
right. I just want to jump in there. Sorry, Kuva. I've got the full draw for the round of 16 for the Champions League for anyone that's interested. We've got Benfica versus Real Madrid, Villarreal playing at home in the first. These are all the first legs, I think. Villarreal versus Man City, Atletico Madrid versus Bayern Munich, Salzburg versus Liverpool, Inter Milan versus Ajax, Sporting Lisbon against Juventus, for you, Ben, Chelsea versus Lille, and PSG versus Manchester United. Any thoughts on them? Very quickly.
Corrupt. We knew like this year they wanted Messi to play Ronaldo, and that was ditched when Messi went to PSG. So they're desperate to get Messi to play Ronaldo. It stinks. It utterly stinks of corruption from UEFA. They want the most money, so they're getting Messi to play Ronaldo. It's a joke.
If you are enjoying the stream this morning, please hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell on the channel. So when we go live, you know exactly when we're going live. Because I think a few people ain't hit the notification bell and they're coming in later. So please hit that notification bell. It is there. I mean, Kuva have both checked, so it is there. My thoughts on the World Cup. Right, and give you the dates actually. The break for the World Cup from the Premier League begins on the 14th of November 2022, and it will end on St. Stephen's Day, which is Boxing Day for you lot over there, on the 26th of December, 8 days after the World Cup final in Qatar on December the 18th. The final weekend of the 22-23 Premier League season will be played on May 28, 2023. 6 days later than when the 21-22 campaign is set to finish. I mean, it is a ridiculous thing to stick in the middle of a Christmas period. But this also brings the other question. should the Premier League now follow? Should the Premier League follow the rest of the European leagues and bring in a European break for over Christmas and ditch the Christmas period? I know we had a conversation on Friday with Irish Hotspur, and he was still, and I do agree with him that it was always, as a kid, Christmas, it was always football on TV. 2 days later, football. Or do you think we need to follow the European route on, European breaks, just close it down for the whole of the winter to January? Cooper, what do you think to that? And would you do something different?
I'm agreeing with David that I absolutely love the Christmas period of football. It's one of the highlights for me. Is games coming thick and fast. You got some nice food and leftovers from Christmas dinner and things, and just tucking into those awesome feasts. Especially since it's always been the case of lining up fixtures that's suited to your club. So you'll have your local derbies and things. Well, the amount of times we'll see over the period we got the North London derby, or we might have like West Ham, Chelsea, those sort of games. It's always been fantastic, but these are not normal times, and we have to change our ways for that. It's just a ridiculous congestion of both fixtures and people. We need to be social distancing, not cramming more people together more often. It's just sensible steps. Let's just call it off and give ourselves a bit of time in the new year to get these fixtures out at a sensible rate.
And Ben, would you go down to follow the European rule of the European break, or would you keep it as it has been since day dot in the English football Christmas time? Where would you sit in the fence on that?
I prefer the normal. I mean, my sensible situation would just be to get rid of the World Cup in Qatar, and then we wouldn't have to worry about getting rid of our Christmas period.
No, I meant generally.
Yeah,
should we follow the European and have a break in December, right the whole of Christmas period off, and let them rest? Do you think that's what I'm getting at? Do the Premier League, because of this COVID situation? Do we just follow the rest of Europe and just bring it in now? Because there's been talk for years about this. Do we do it? Do we not do it? Do you think we need to come out of the dark ages and follow the European, whatever the other European Football League does?
No, because I'm a man of tradition, and the Christmas period is possibly one of the best parts of the British season. And it's what makes the British season so special compared to the other leagues, which seem a bit sterile, there's nothing to do. So I would personally keep the Christmas period and give us a longer summer break for the players to recoup over the summer. But COVID is I think we just need to spread the Christmas period out a bit more. Instead of having maybe 4 games in a week, maybe just spread it out a bit more. And
but where do you fit that into the fixtures?
You just make
if you spread it out, how do you spread it out?
You just make the league finish later in the year. Instead of finishing in May, maybe make it finish in June, and just spreading out those fixtures a bit more throughout the year, and maybe making the start of the year a bit more competitive, rather than having the start of the league, you always play 1 game a week and then so on, and then suddenly 10 games a week come in. So maybe we just need to spread the entire year out instead of just removing what makes the British Premier League so beautiful, which is that part of the year.
So you were starting August, finish in June. That's your season.
Yeah.
Kuva, would you agree with that, or would you leave it as it is? What would you do?
No, I agree with Ben. That makes perfect sense to me. It's the biggest thing that we're facing at the moment is this World Cup. It's pointless. I wish we'd boycott it in the first place, never mind COVID.
Well, we're boycotting it.
You didn't have any choice, did you?
I'm going to go home. I'm going to go away and cry after this.
That's horrible, Kuva. That's shots.
I hope you get fucking Germany in the first round and you lose 10-0. We've got a few comments here. Ellie says, "Hiya guys, 2 of my daughters have gone down with COVID. Ellie, I hope they're feeling better. God love you." Philip Brady's in the house. Good morning, Philip, the godfather of the house. I'm the godfather of my channel as well. We bow down to the godfather. And then Ellie said, I love leftovers on Boxing Day, watching my beloved Spurs play with a turkey and stuffing sandwich. Lovely.
Ellie, let us know how your daughters are doing. Are they being hit quite severely, or just seems mild so far?
Yeah. And also, Philip, if you want to pop on, I'm going to put the link on in the chat. So if you want to pop on, I love your opinions on some of these subjects this morning, because I think I would love to hear what you have to say. So the link's going in the chat. That goes to Ellie too. If Ellie, you want to pop on and just tell us how your daughters are doing very quickly. But the link's there in the chat. And thanks for everyone who's watching at the moment. Press the like and subscribe. And we're on all social media now. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So we're sort of expanding. Kuva's in charge of our social media accounts. So he'd be looking after that all day.
Am I?
No. I just thought it sounded good. My thoughts on the World Cup. I don't think it should have been given to Qatar in the first place, to be brutally honest with you. I think it was rigged. I think Platter and Platini had that rigged from day one. I think if it was to go, I think they tried to give it to anyone else bar England, I think at the time, who were bidding for it. If they wanted to take it away, I would like it to go to a South American country like Brazil or Argentina. Argentina haven't held a World Cup since 1978. You got like Spain, Italy, you got most European countries can host a World Cup as quickly as anything. But I think UEFA and FIFA are the most corrupt organisations in world football, and I think they need to be torn down and made into one. Put the two organisations together and just have little subcommittees. So one subcommittee does the World Cup, one subcommittee does the European Championships, another one does stuff like that. I think, and we have Ellie on, so you can ask your question now to Ellie now.
Hi guys.
Morning, Ellie. How are you?
Morning. Yeah, two of my daughters, Angela and Joanna, have come down with COVID. Not severe. They're very drained, and Angela's had it for longer, and she passed it to Joanna because she's living with Joanna at the moment. They both caught it. I don't know what strain they've got because they can't go anywhere. They're self-isolating, but they feel quite low, But other than that, they're getting through it.
And we have the godfather of the Harris Army, the godfather of our army. How are you, Philip?
Let me put my headphones on.
I'll just take you out there for a minute, Ellie. Oh, hello. Where did
must have been the feedback from Philip, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Come back, Philip. Come back. Yeah, that's my point. I think. What do you think to that? Do you think they should join the two organisations and just make it into little subcommittees?
Sorry, I've lost track there. Which
if they were to put UEFA and FIFA together, rip them both down, put them in one organisation, and have little subcommittees round for each championship. I mean, they are corrupt, both organisations. So what do? Do you strip them down? I mean,
I don't think it's going to make any difference because as soon as you get that amount of power back again, whether it's one or two organisations, they'll both be corrupt. I don't think it's going to make any difference because as soon as you get that amount of power back again, whether it's one or two organisations,
we're getting feedback somewhere along the line.
I don't think it's going to make any difference because as soon as you get that
we're getting feedback somewhere along the line. Hang on, I'll just take some.
Is that better?
It's coming from you, Philip.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of it here. Hang on. Yeah, that should be okay then.
Yeah.
That sounds
Morning,
better,
guys.
yeah.
Morning, you
Philip
two.
was
How are
doing
you?
the Irish jig.
Ellie, how are you?
Yeah.
All right, I thought, all right, Bill.
Just very quickly, Philip, what's your thought on the Premier League and the World Cup? And do you think it should be winter break, or should we bring in a winter break into to entire league now?
Well, first of
Follow
all,
the European.
the World Cup should not be in Qatar under any circumstances. That's my first
Yeah.
thing on it. I think it's an absolute disgrace. And I hope the families, all the workers that died making those stadiums, make their feelings known nearer the time. But it should not be there. I mean, it's obviously money has bought this, and it's just disgusting. It's going to wreck the season. I mean, I think we're no matches from November to 23rd of December or something like that. Isn't that right?
Yeah, the I've got the dates here. Hang on, I'll get the dates up again. What's your thoughts on that very quickly, Ellie, on that?
I think the same as Phil's, a disgrace. People dying, and then it's going to be sweltering hot, and it's all about money, isn't it? At the end of the day, it is, because they bought the World Cup, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's disgraceful.
I mean, the actually have got dates here, Philip. It's from the 14th of November to St. Stephen's Day.
Yeah.
That's when the league will restart again.
Well, I mean, that's 2 World Cups in a row that have been bought, Russia and
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically. It just shows you the corruption in UEFA and the corruption in FIFA. The two of them should be tied together and thrown in the river. Because they're just, I mean, I'm putting their attitude to Tottenham's COVID situation in that category. They have just been shown no empathy for the work Spurs did trying to contain a pandemic. You know, that they're just, I'm just disgusted by that. But anyway, that's for another question. Go on.
I mean, I'll start with you, Kuva, and I'll go around. Ellie's gone. Ellie's disappeared. I mean, what do you think? I'll start with you, Philip. Actually, what do you think of this COVID outbreak at Tottenham? I mean, Ben and Philip and Ben and Kuva both think it came from Brentford. They're the super spreaders. Would you agree with that?
You know, the problem is we will never ever know that. We'll never know it. Chances are it probably was Brentford. Probably was, because that was 72 hours before Norwich, and Norwich, they started to appear the day after the Norwich match. So yes, it probably was, but how can you prove it? You know, you can suggest everything you like, but there's no way of proving it unless there was unless there's a Brentford strain.
It's transmitted by bees.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was thinking of sending Ben in there undercover just to find out for us.
But if you look at apparently the Man United players have now got, after playing Norwich, they begin to wonder, did Brentford give it to us? Did we give it to Norwich? And Norwich have given it to Man United. You know, it's just going down the line. You know.
I think
Arsenal next.
Yeah, I think we better clarify. We're not actually saying Brentford have.
No, but
we're just
conspire about it.
It's just a funny little coincidence, isn't it? It's,
it could be anyone.
Yeah. Now, what about the games this week, Philip? Do you think they should be cancelled?
Well, I mean, reports this morning are that there's another first-team player gone down with it, and a lot of the under-23s have. I don't see anyone will have to be cancelled. Even though the team went back training yesterday, there was no pictures of who was actually training, so we don't know who's actually still standing and who's not.
Well, Harry Kane's one that's still standing. I saw him going into the training.
Hugo Lloris. Saw a picture of Hugo. That's the only one. I didn't see anybody else. No, I think that probably have to postpone it. Probably as well, because if we played we could lose all our impetus if we play weakened teams against Leicester. Well, we all know what's going to happen if we play a weakened team against Liverpool. And it could knock all the good work that's been done in the last few weeks on the head. So it's well to cancel the matches and play them, I mean, let's face it, what I'm laughing at the moment is West Ham fans saying this is the best season we've had for years. Brilliant. We're so far ahead of Tottenham. If you look at the table, they're 3 points ahead of us and we've 2 games in hand.
I know.
Brilliant. It's a joke.
I'll go around and ask questions. So, Kuva, did the games be called off this week? Leicester and Liverpool, yes or no?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Ellie? Did the 2 games be called off? Leicester and Liverpool, should they be called off?
Not hearing us.
I think she might be muted.
Oh, okay.
Can't hear you, Ellie.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Did the games be called off? Leicester and Liverpool, should they be called off this week? Yes or no?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay. And you, Philip?
Which probably means, yeah, I do, but it probably means, it's Tottenham will make them play them.
Yeah.
If this is Manchester City or Liverpool, the game's been called off already.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tottenham. So.
You look very smart, Phil.
Do I?
Very
Jesus.
dapper. Yes.
I don't feel it.
I'm sending Phil in. I'm sending Phil in to get Levy kicked up the ass or something to spend some money in January. He was just sending him in this morning. That's why he looks dapper.
God, Levy.
I'm gonna do that as well when I meet Mr. Palatici in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna have a shout. I'm gonna shout him for 2 hours.
I think Kuva's sending in the hitman, aren't you, Kuva? The Italian fella.
Needs to be done, doesn't it?
Yeah. I want to ask you three, all my guests, a question. Where do we go now? We've got all these fixtures coming up.
Oh, dear.
Is it time to bring in the kids and start trusting them more? I'll start with you, Kuva, and then I'll go around. Is it time to start using the kids now?
Well, if we have to, yeah. I mean, if players are absolutely exhausted and they're not going to be able to complete a game, then yeah, of course you do. You'd have to. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It comes into question then what we were talking about the other day as well. Was our policy of signing all these young talent worth it? Should we be concentrating on ready-made players, proper the finished article, and then just letting our academy top up the numbers when needed? I think that's the way to go, because at the moment the young players we sign don't always make the squad, and it also keeps the development players from dropping into the squad. So yeah, I'd like to see it long term. It always used to be the way. You'd get a few internationals and then some of the kids join them, and they'd really come along bundles just by playing with them. Yeah, so I definitely would. We all like to see our homegrown youngsters getting into the side, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Ben?
I wouldn't risk them in terms of if they have a bad game, that could ruin their confidence for their entire careers. So I'd love to spare them in terms of their mental psyche, and I think they should be fully prepared for a game. And I think Mr. Conte doesn't want too many players in his dressing room, because that could cause more problems. Too many cooks in the kitchen is never a good thing. So I'd like to see us try and get the best out of the members of the squad that we already have. But if there are a few youngsters that can come into the team like an Ollie Skip or a Harry Kane-esque type of player, and if you're, in the words of our good friend David Harris, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So we shouldn't be risking them. But if there is a couple of starlets, maybe give them a goal on the bench and see how they prosper in that dressing room.
Philip, what would you play the kids?
I would play up to a point. I think there's a few of the kids are probably really ready for, like Markande. He's a guy who needs to get into the squad. Dane Scarlett, who's had a little bit of experience this season, he needs to get into. I wouldn't overdo it. We overload the team with kids, and we're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah,
we need to do it on a very gradual basis. We won every other match or so, just to get some experience and get them in there. But I'm afraid our first team squad is going to have to earn their crown this season by playing a lot of matches. There's no way around it, No. I'd love to see the kids come in, but I don't think if we're trying to qualify for Europe, he's going to have to keep with the tried and tested as much as he can, with some use of the kids, when required, like especially in the cup games. But for the league matches, we need to keep as much of the stronger teams as we can. It's going to be tough. There are going to be players who drop in with injury. We've been lucky enough with injuries, really. Apart from Romero, it's probably the worst one we've had. But if the likes of Oliver Skip or Højbjerg got injured, then we would have a serious problem.
Ellie, what would you say? Would you play the kids?
Yeah, I agree with a little bit of Kuva, actually, because the first teamers, we haven't got hardly any first teamers available, and the kids are really good. I don't think they'll be damaged for the rest of their lives if they have a bad game. Because look at Dele Alli, he's strolling around all right, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's had lots of bad games for 3 years.
I've actually
Right,
got a bit of breaking news on Dele Alli for you all, and I've just got it now.
Yeah,
So
go on.
after you finish first, Ellie. I'd love to hear your thought,
I'm
and then I'll
interested
let
to
you
hear.
on.
Yeah, but I think Alfie Devine, Stain Scarlett, Malcandy, Harvey White, we can get him back off loan. I think he's on loan at the moment, isn't he?
Portsmouth, right?
Yeah, at Portsmouth. You see, these sort of players, they're getting experience being loaned out. Obviously, Dane Scarlett, Parrott's, I think he's at Norwich. No, Parrott's at,
It's MK
where is he
Dons.
now? MK
Franchise
Dons.
FC.
That's it.
MK,
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically, we could get all these players back. There's no problem because they're our players. And then, you know, half and half, I'd say. Half kids, half first teamers, and give the boys, if the ones who haven't recovered from COVID, give them a little bit of a rest because they're going to be drained, aren't they? Looking at my daughters on Zoom, and I'm zooming them, they look drained, and they haven't even got the bad strain of it. Don't know what the Spurs players have got. Anyway, let's hear this news about Dele Alli.
Well, just to let you know about the other thing, I'm actually coming to the end of having it. I've had it twice now, so it does knock you out a bit. Believe me, it does. So everyone, please get vaccinated and get the booster when you can.
The third booster I'm having next week.
Yeah. Have you had your booster yet, Phil?
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah, I had mine on last Friday due to my
I want to make sure I had it before we went over to the game, you know, just in case, because there wasn't too many wearing masks at the match. The part I was sitting there.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Right. This just very quickly. Chris has said that apparently there is a bigger outbreak of COVID in the under 23s.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyone want to say Kuva, Ben, and Philip? Anyone want to say anything, Chris?
I've heard that. But again, there's no names coming out. But if it's significant and it's in the training ground, they have to close the training ground again.
Yeah.
We cannot play. Can't play much.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if they closed the Spurs shop?
Oh, that'll always be open, won't it?
I was going to say, because I've got to pick up a shirt from there.
Hell will freeze over before that shop is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Leave it be running it himself.
That's money in, isn't it? Not money out.
So thank you, Chris, for that. And keep us up to breast as well, Chris. Let us know what's happening there. Cody Mack, good morning, Cody Mack's in the chat. Let us know how the beard's going. Send us a pic or come on if you want. The link's there, Cody. Come on. Let's see how the beard's going. And Derek Hutchinson, good morning, Derek. And thank you for tuning in. Everyone, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And then you will get it straight away when we're going in. Right, Dele Alli. The latest news that I've been told this morning is that he is going to be made available for a move away from Tottenham next month in the January transfer window. Now, this could be either a loan or a sale, but his contract ends in 2024. So, what would you do? Would you just get him out of loan and just let his contract run down?
Anything. Just get him out. Just I don't care. Just throw him away. Put him in a taxi and give the taxi driver like a couple of grand and just say go until the fuel runs out. That'll be fine.
And who else would you put on that list?
Ndombele.
Yeah. Where would you send him?
He could be in the boat.
He could get in the cab with Dele Alli.
Just put McDonald's in there.
His bum won't fit in the boot. He's too chubby.
Could tempt him in with a couple of buckets of KFC or something.
Yeah, we'll have to put some KFC in there. He'll climb in very quickly then.
Or a Grand Big Mac.
I think also, despite the fact that he does love the club, and I do believe it and everything, I think Winks has got to go, hasn't he? It's just not happening for him anymore. He needs to get his career back on track somehow. Um,
go to a boy band.
Maybe he should. Is he too old now?
One Direction are looking for somebody.
Just a quick mention here. Cody Mack says, I'm still in bed. Beer's just fine. As always, keep Bob in your thoughts. I mean, Phil, do you want to say anything to Bob's birth? It's the first time we've had you on since all this.
Bob's having a rough time when his father hasn't been buried yet, and now he's down with COVID. So that's the double whammy of possible proportions. You know, we're thinking of him, and like he'll be okay. But I mean, it's just a horrible coincidence to be in hospital on a machines all around you, and your father hasn't been buried yet. I mean, it's just horrible. So best of luck, Bob. We're rooting for you.
Yeah. Ellie, just very quickly, anything just to because we haven't had you on since this break, so
yeah, I'm giving all my love to Bobby and his good lady Kim. You stick in there, Bobby. You're going to get over this, and you'll come out and we'll meet at that lovely Indian restaurant you take us to for the curry nights. Just get yourself better, darling. All right, all my love.
Yeah, well, I'm coming over in February. I think you're going over in February as well, Phil, are you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was half thinking possibly going to the Morecambe game as well, but I don't think I'll bother. There's too many restrictions in travelling.
Yeah. Well, as I say, the Irish lads will be on tour in Tottenham. We'll terror it up a little bit.
Daniel Levy, watch out. We're
coming
for
you. Yeah, we're coming for you. Right. What do you say to David Hutchinson here? Delhi to Coventry.
It's the old phrase, isn't it? Being sent to Coventry.
He's not good enough for Coventry.
It's a good hairdressing. First thing Delhi would look for, what's the hairdressing situation like? You know?
Yeah.
What have Coventry done to deserve that?
Yeah.
Payback 1987.
That's true. But as Kuva says, he thinks that was the best game ever, didn't you, Kuva, the 87 Cup final?
Oh,
when did I say that?
You did. You said it once. It was a good game.
It was a good game. It was hardly the best game ever, was it?
No.
Bloody lost.
Bloody lost 3-2. To Coventry City.
It was a good spectacle, and it was a great day out, but it was it was a bad result. I mean,
I think the Coventry manager,
crying all the way home.
Whatever you call him, died a couple of weeks ago. The guy that managed Coventry.
John Silly,
yeah.
I think Dermot's just trying to set me up on controversial things I didn't say.
Yeah, that's it. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want Sol Campbell to be our manager.
Oh God, don't you start him on Sol Campbell. Bad Matthew says, morning, sneaking a look while working from home. Love to everyone, and come on, Bob, beat this virus. Yeah, you're welcome, Brad. Thanks for joining in. And as I said, we're here every morning.
Changing the subject completely here, but are we still on the draw for the Conference League this afternoon?
As far as I know, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's unresolved. We'd have to be, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I
think Rennes.
Yeah, they have to put us in.
Absolutely disgracefully in this.
Because we're going to appeal.
You know.
Well, the latest actually that UEFA are going to fine Rennes. As I was saying to the lads earlier, that they're going to fine Rennes.
Agree to a date.
Yeah.
They're going to fine them. Why are they fining them?
My question here, I want to ask this question around. I'll start with you, Cooper. If Rennes refuse to do a date, should UEFA kick them out, or should they just spin them?
Yeah.
They won't.
No, I mean,
it was our team that they couldn't play on the night, not theirs. They could have played.
I think the only sensible thing is UEFA will look at the fixture lists of both teams and pick a date and just say, get on with it.
There is a free week in January, apparently.
Yeah.
There we go. That'll be the sensible option.
Yeah, but this is Rennes being French. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody ever watched Derry Girls, the two Derry Girls, where the nun says, I won't be going to Paris on this school trip because I despise the French. I know exactly how she feels.
I know how that feels as well. I went there for my anniversary and they do not like us. They don't like us.
They don't.
I was there for Lyon away, and they treated us like shit. Lyon away.
Yeah, I know.
Luckily, Moussa
like
Dembele
we're
scored in the
scum.
90th minute, so that shut the bastards up.
Next time France gets invaded, you're on your own, kid. We're not coming over to rescue you.
Hugo Lloris is watching. We love you, Hugo.
Oh yeah,
Unginola.
Oh, yeah.
Their yids at heart, they're not French anymore.
That's
No.
right.
They
But
are.
So
as I
They're
said
very
earlier,
good.
though, I think if the roles had been reversed, I think we would have kicked up a fuss as well. But we wouldn't have kicked up a fuss to this level. It's just
French are
petty, isn't
noted for
it?
Yeah. Look
So
at the
is it
French team.
quite convinced that we don't like the French, all of us?
Yeah.
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 What annoys
I
me
like
about
Hugo and Ginola.
they were complaining. They were complaining about how coming over here and the match not being played. They were a 1 hour flight from home. Literally, not even that, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. The Spurs fans have travelled up to Burnley for that Sunday game that was never played. A 5 hour road trip, no trains, no nothing, and there wasn't a word about it. And yet, poor old Ren, maybe it was the bus trip out to Heathrow Airport they were worried about. That probably took them longer than the flight.
Yeah.
We've always had trouble with the French since their old national manager. What was his name again?
Deschamps.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm in.
Some of them go back a bit further. They go back as far as Agincourt. That's only 600 years ago.
They should have stopped off at the Spurs ground and had some pie and mash, isn't it? There's a pie and mash opposite.
Derek Hutchison's putting the comments here. We're better off out the competition. I mean, I love your thoughts on that, Kuva. What do you say to Derek?
I think we should do our best to be in it. We should try and win this. There's no Man City and Liverpool in this competition. There's no Chelsea. They might be sort of viewed as a sort of lesser competition, but I'd sooner have that trophy in our cabinet at the end of the season than dust.
Do you know what I mean?
Ben?
Dust collecting on the dust.
Yeah.
Ben, what's your response to Derek?
I mean, I've got to reflect on the words of Mr. Mickey Harris when he was on the Irish Hotspur. If it's a trophy, we need to win it. Winning a smaller trophy is the building block of winning a bigger trophy. And the reason we don't win anything is we look at the League Cup, we look at the FA Cup, we look at them as minnow competitions and we don't care about them. If you look at Man City, they always win the smaller trophies because they are a big club and they want to win trophies. That is the correct mentality to have when you are a football club. If you are in the competition, you go and bloody win it for those fans that go every single week to watch your football team. Win it for them.
When you do searches online and major trophies won by a club, you want to see all the columns filled up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Philip, what would you say? Would we be better off outer ring?
I don't think we're going to be let stay in it. To be honest with you, I think they'll do what they did to Lewis Hamilton yesterday. They'll find some rule that shafts us, and we won't be in the competition. But if we are in the competition, then go for it, hell for leather. But I don't think we're going to be given the opportunity because UEFA will go. They'll find some obscure rule and volume of rules hasn't been looked at in 20 years that apply to this case, and they'll kick us out.
And then they'll change it the day after.
Exactly, yeah. It'll affect Manchester United next week, and they'll change it. By the way, Manchester United got the worst possible draw. They got PSG.
It's so corrupt. They're desperate to see Messi play Ronaldo. They were desperate to see it at the beginning of the year. They're so desperate to see those two play each other. It is.
They made a balls of it as well. They actually drew Manchester United against Villarreal. The man put the United's ball in the wrong pot, and they came out against Villarreal, which cannot take place because they've already played each other. And I suppose the United fans would go, "Oh God!" They had either, I think it was either, I don't know, it was PSG or some crap team, and they got PSG.
Ellie, in or out the competition?
No, I'm definitely in, unless we get booted out. But I don't think UEFA are going to boot us out because they'll want a big club like us to be in it because the competition is going to die. What other clubs are in it? I mean, you've got Roma. All the rest of them are quite small compared to some. There's not many clubs that are big, are they?
No,
And
it's been referred to the disciplinary committee, which means there'll be a fine involved here as well. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, we can afford it. They make enough money at that Spurs shop, can't they? You know
just
what I mean?
just very quickly before we end, and what's your thoughts on the race yesterday, Phil? You had a bit that Lewis Hamilton was rolled.
I'm not a Formula One fan. I really have no, favoritism either way. But I thought Hamilton was very poorly treated. I think when you're 11 seconds ahead before 4 laps to go, and suddenly your competitors right up alongside you, there's something wrong. I think Mercedes have got a very good field.
I clarify the rules here because apart from Ben, I'm the other Formula One nut. Anytime there's a safety car, they will bunch the field up. It's just natural. It happens every time. Now, normally there is a rule within the rule book that it does allow lap cars to overtake the safety car to be lap
that's
cars.
What the problem is, isn't it? That's what the problem is.
But that rule's been in for years. But the thing was, it was supposed to let all the lap cars go. Now, I feel sorry for Michael Massey. They've been inconsistent all season. The FIA and the stewards. And Ben will back me up with this, haven't they, Ben? But I mean, Verstappen won. He won 10 races. He's had more podiums than anybody else. I mean, he was the better driver all season. I feel sorry for Lewis Hamilton, but I think Verstappen was the right champion. And I feel sorry for new people that watched it yesterday because it made our sport look corrupt, which it isn't.
I don't think Massey will survive this. I don't think Massey will survive. Mercedes have too much power. We've got things in the background now before the next season. I think you'll find a change.
There will be. And as far as I know, that Mercedes are going to lodge their appeal.
It's a conspiracy theory. Mick Schumacher crashed into Nicola Latifi to save his father's record. It's a conspiracy theory.
Right. Okay.
It's a conspiracy theory.
It did strike me as odd that the man crashed. I mean, he made an elementary mistake at a very sensitive time of the race. He knew well there was going to be a safety car because of it, so you never know.
And he crashed into a Mercedes car as well, which made it even worse because a Mercedes car lost Mercedes the world title.
You want to go back to 2008 when Massa won the world championship in the Grand Prix, and about 20 seconds later, Hamilton had passed the Glock, I think, at the last corner of the last lap to win the championship. So you've had common seats all over the years, Senna, Prost, whatever. So it's Formula One.
Though, isn't it? I mean, I remember Formula One in the old days where you could actually overtake. Now, when you see someone overtake it, it's nearly it's a rarity.
Cars are too fast. They're too fast.
Yeah.
Derek Hutchinson Sorry, go on. Who was that?
More importantly, in 2008, Jonathan Woodgate.
That's more
Right. Just very quickly, Derek Hutchinson said UEFA will kick us out for sure.
They will.
And he also says Hamilton was stitched up. I'm sorry, I have my can of Red Bull here. I'm celebrating Max Verstappen's win. So
I heard a good joke today. It was detrimental to Spurs though. They said they've just hired a new cleaner, but they sacked him because there was nothing to do in the trophy cabinet. There's nothing to clean.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you know what? These jokes, right? They're meant to spite Spurs, but they're quite funny in a way because we've won one trophy in 21 years, isn't it? If we win another one today, it'd be 2 this year. Sorry. So hopefully Conte will get a couple in there. Then we've doubled what we won in 20 years.
as I said before, from 1950 to 2008, we won a trophy every decade.
Yeah.
The last 10 years was the first decade we haven't won a trophy.
And ironically, we won the best teams.
Yeah. Well, we won the Audi Cup, so we shouldn't forget that either.
I forgot about that.
The Mercedes Cup now.
That's quite an impressive trophy as well, Quite a nice trophy. It looks, it's a good one.
So you're saying we should just go for the pretty ones?
Yes. The FA Cup is the prettiest, I think.
It is. That's
yeah. It's a shame we never got the big ears.
It's disgraceful that we haven't won the FA Cup for over 30 years now, isn't it, really?
Yes.
I mean, 1991 was our last trophy in the FA Cup.
We genuinely used to consider it our trophy, didn't we? It was we were the one that had won it the most. We've fallen so far behind now, is some true.
I know. We've got to start catching up.
What did we win it in? What did we? 61, 62, 67, 81, 82, 91. Won it 6 times.
63. Yeah.
Won it 6
We've
times.
only won it twice when the year didn't end in 1.
Yeah.
1963 and 90.
We won the European Cup Winners' Cup in '63, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but we I mean, we were watching. I mean, me and Kuva speaking to Kuva this morning about. We're thinking about showing the 72 UEFA Cup final first leg. I mean, I watched it last night. I mean, Martin Shivers, what a player!
That shot, if the goalie had got that, would have broken his hand. I've never seen a shot hit as hard as that one. It was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Did you see that we did the 74 final, Phil? I mean, what's your memories of that? I mean, it was a dark time for Tottenham.
I tend to block games like that out of my memory, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
87 and that I couldn't even tell you who the team was, because I just don't want to know. You know, it's just they're bad memories. You know.
Yeah. Just for a quick question, do you think that was the end? That was the beginning of the end for Bill Nick? What was happening in the stands? And I know I discussed it with Kuva.
Yeah, I think Bill was old school, and that would have disgusted him. That would have absolutely. He was such a moral gentleman. You know, everything was straight down the middle with Bill. That would have been totally against his ethos, his thinking, and I would say he's I've had enough of this. I'm gone. It's just on a bit as well at that stage, you know. So it was just too much.
We need the statue of Bill outside the stadium. We need to get onto that. We need to start our petition for that statue.
You
for
need
Bill.
a statue of Bill Nicholson, and we need a statue of Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Danny Blanchard.
And Danny Blanchard, yeah.
I'd argue Jimmy Greaves would be even more important than Bill Nicholson, because he always idolised the players more than the managers, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, Well, Bill Nick was a player. I mean, I think he's the only to go through the ranks, isn't he? He started as a player. He started in youth team, played, coached, assistant manager.
Did you hear the story Andrew told about Pat Jennings' pay rise?
I saw that. I think the John Pratt story's a classic too.
Oh well, that was rather right enough.
Don't think that's one for morning coffee though.
No, I don't think so.
Tell us, Phil, about the Pat Jennings story. Go on.
Pat Jennings it must have been in his early days at the club, and he went into Bill Nicholson. He'd heard what the other boys were earning, and he went into Bill and said, "Bill, I think I'm due a pay rise." And Bill says, "What are you on at the moment?" "I'm on 30 quid a week and 10 quid appearance money." So he says, "Come back tomorrow and I'll have a think about it." So Pat comes back the next morning anyway, and Bill says, "What was he wanting to talk about, Pat?" "I want a pay rise, boss." "What are you on again?" 30 euros a week and 10 euros appearance money. So Bill thought, "Yeah, Pat, I will. I'll give you a pay rise. I'll give you 35 quid a week and a fiver appearance money."
That was just Bill Nick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can I just also say good morning or good evening? I don't know what it is. You need to let us know. Kieran McDonald, morning all from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia.
Oh, nice.
Take me home, country roads.
Yeah, that's it. We've reached America, Kuva.
Virginia.
We've reached America. We're conquering America.
Come on.
Good old Shenandoah River.
Any Spurs
Cody Mack's in the house already.
Isn't that where the Waltons lived? Blue Ridge Mountains.
I don't know. Is that where the Mount Rushmore is? Is that in Virginia? Mount Rushmore.
No.
That's in Washington.
That's in
Washington,
D.C.
I'm just thinking I hope there's no Spurs fans affected by this terrible tornado thing in Kentucky.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
I watched that on the other night in Seattle. I've never seen a town totally devastated in all my life.
Incredible. I reckon the tornado was 250 miles long. It's the biggest ever in American history.
Oh my God!
Incredible.
What is it with America?
We give out when we get a bit of rain, a bit of wind. You know?
Well, thank you, Kieran, for joining us. And join us every morning. We're here every morning, me, Phil, and Ben, with surprise guests like this morning, Philip and the lovely Ellie. So thank you. Look, Hello. He says, here's your answer to that. And I will get it up here. There you go. There. Work. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
In
The
West
Waltons
Virginia.
were from the other side of the mountains in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I think
Thank you, Kieran.
Colin from Talk and Ball. He's from sort of Kentucky area, or he was originally. So perhaps if it's not affecting him, perhaps it's affecting areas he knows anyway.
Yeah.
And but I think Cody Mack's from Canada. I think the same as Brian Daigle. He's from Canada.
Oh, it's all the same thing, isn't it, Cody?
Yeah.
But all our thoughts and prayers are with the people in America, in Virginia.
Brian Daigle's trying to get over, isn't he?
Yeah.
Brian Daigle's he's doing a sponsorship thing, so people sending him money so that he can get over.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it for this morning. Thank you again. Thank you for everyone who's joined in. Thank you to everyone, the comments, everything. Thank you for Kieran, Derek, in the comments, Brad, Cody Mack, a normal person, Chris, who came back again. Of course, you and Philip, you too, and Carl and Chris again this morning. I'll go around. Philip, Kuva, where can people find you, sir? And can you give us what we're doing tonight on Tantrum Gold?
I'll keep forgetting this, don't I? Tonight we're showing. Remind me, it's the
Gazza's first after the World Cup and in '90.
Of course, that's the one. Yeah. Paul Gascoigne, Gary Lineker, just after the 1990 Italian World Cup. We'll be on for that. Can't wait to watch that. Actually, love a bit of Gaza. Who doesn't? So other than that, I'll be around the Irish Hotspur. That's our, as Dermot always refers to it, as our mothership. It's the channel that inspired us, and I'm quite often on Spurs with Eugene. That's a really nice channel. Very laid back feel to it. The two Brians on Tottenham on Tour, Brian Ireland and Brian Daigle. Like to pop on there as often as possible. Paxton Road and many others. I'll go around the channels a bit now.
Because you're popular.
Yeah, I've a competition with Rez at the moment. See how many channels we can get on. But it always comes back to here in the Irish Hotspur. So it's our two passions around here, isn't it, Dermot?
It is. And Ben, where can people find you, sir?
You can find us at the Kauffie Company. My Instagram link's in my name. You can see it. You can find us at 8 the Broadway in Woodford if you want to come for a cup of coffee, talk Tottenham and all that nonsense. And as always, you can find me here on the morning show with Dermot and Kuva, and on Monday evenings at the Irish Hotspur, where we just rant and rave, and hopefully they don't laugh too much or my swearing doesn't get in the way of the entire show. But mostly this morning in this arena, and if you want to come for a coffee, you know where to find me.
Philip, where can people find you, sir?
Yeah, well, find me on the Irish Hotspur now and again, mostly on a Monday night. And it's a pleasure to come on here whenever I'm asked as well. Any time, I'm more than happy to come on. And that's it, really.
Yeah, we love having you on here, Philip. We really do. I mean, you and Kuva, we can listen to you and Kuva all day, all morning long. Your history of Spurs, really good. And Ellie, where can we find you? Firstly, we wish your daughters the very best. Hope they feel better soon. And where can people find you, Ellie? And have you got a YouTube channel coming out in January?
Oh, yeah, January I'll be Queen Ellie of the Lane. I'm going to be starting that up, and Phil's helping me with that. Well, last time I spoke to him, he was. And I'm always on the Irish Hotspur because I love David Harris and Jack Kanicki. They're fantastic lads. And sometimes I'm on Tottenham Away on North London is ours with the Gooner fans. And they're trying to get some West Ham fans to come on, but I'm going to avoid that one. I don't like West Ham. I don't like West Ham. No, I dislike Arsenal more than West Ham, but I just can't stand West Ham fans. They just get on my nerves. Right, and I'm sometimes on Tottenham Tantrum with you guys when you invite me on. and occasionally I'll go on a few others like Bob Spur and Eugene and Mr. K, because I like those two. They're nice.
Yeah,
They're
everyone,
nice lads.
please look on. We did a show with Ellie's Golden Spurs Moments. Phil, we're going to do you as well, and then next week or so,
Right.
get your
Good
5
one.
Spurs
I
Golden
enjoyed
Moments.
that. I really enjoyed that.
That was done with Kuva and Phil. Phil's actually at work, and a big up Phil. Phil will be back this evening. I'm actually going on to Mr. K's channel tomorrow night with him at 11 o'clock, so I'm looking forward to going on there.
I'll look in on that one.
But thank you for everyone who's got in contact this morning. Thank you for all the people who subscribed. We're now at 150. That went 150 as from yesterday, so thank you for everyone.
Soon be 1,000.
As Kiva says, we're trying to get to 200 before Christmas, so we're only 50 away. So hopefully we get there. Be a nice little Christmas bonus, Christmas present for me.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed the channel, then please do like and subscribe. It really helps us a lot. It would be a dream if we got to 200 before Christmas, because we weren't expecting anything like this number already.
Very good.
It all went up when you came on, Kiva. I think it's your sex appeal. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
That beard.
I'm up for the next James Bond, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sort
You heard it here.
budget version.
Yes, you heard it here first.
Right.
If they
The new
turn
James
you down,
Bond will be Kuva.
if they turn you down for James Bond, Kuva, ZZ Top are looking for another member.
Yeah, that's right. I think I might be too old even for them.
Well, no, you're definitely not.
Yeah, definitely.
Billy Gibbons is 72 this week, so.
Yes.
Well,
And they're a good
on
band.
that bombshell, that Kuva's now going to leave us and join ZZ Top. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back at 5:30 this evening with Tottenham versus Manchester City, 1991. Gaza and Lineker, the first game after the World Cup. Thank you for everyone. God bless you. God bless you, Bob Spur. Speedy recovery, and Levy out.
And leave you
Levy
out.
out.
Come on, you.